Hi, and welcome to the Seated Podcast with Furniture Row. I'm Jessa, creative director and design extraordinaire.
And I'm Barb, interior designer and buyer.
Cool. So we've talked a lot about things that we love, but what are some of the things that you would stay away from in the backyard? You know, like, is there backyard etiquette? Is there backyard faux pas? Are there things that just like don't make your life as wonderful?
There's definitely things, to avoid. And that's, if you're in a neighborhood, definitely be a good neighbor and, don't have a lot of noise going on at odd hours.
Odd hours.
Yeah.
Like after 10.
I don't know what that number would be for
time. It's different for different people.
Different for different neighborhoods. It depends on where you are. I mean, you might have a neighborhood that's up all night. Who knows?
Yeah, 9 or 10.
Just be aware of your surroundings, your neighbors, and mindful of them.
Also, before 7 a.m., no power tools. No
power tools before 9 a.m. Come on.
I think
I know a lot of people.
The leaf blower. There's no worse way to wake up than that high-pitched sound of whatever lawn tool makes that high-pitched sound.
And lawnmowers. I hate the sound of a lawnmower early in the morning.
Maybe early in the morning. But I really like a lawnmower. It's nostalgic for me. If it was right next to my window.
You want to wake up to that?
Yeah, it's like, and then it's like, it's summer, like smells like fresh cut grass.
I do like fresh cut grass.
Yeah, but maybe far away, maybe not close by, but it's important to consider. Be a good neighbor for noise. And if you do have a speaker, maybe just keep it at a reasonable level of sound.
And maybe get to know your neighbors. Say,
that
look,
is important.
Hey, if our sound is ever if it's up too loud or it's too late going, let us know. I
was listening to a different podcast actually, and they were talking about how there was a study that people who know their neighbors, you don't have to like be best friends with them, but they've like met them. Yeah. Their well-being is higher in some way. And I don't know what study it was. Maybe we can find it and put it in the show notes, but, it was done, and people are happier when they know their neighbors. Because even if you don't like them, you can talk through, hey, could you just make sure to keep it down after 10? And then they know you mean well. Yeah, you're not just being rude. Yeah. I'd love to see that study, but I could totally see why that is the case. Yeah. What else would you never do in your backyard?
Well, so this may be a little controversial. Okay. Because we were talking about all the things for your backyard and, your front porch and that sort of thing. But one thing that I can't stand is plastic. I do not like eating on plastic. I don't like plastic forks. I don't like plastic cups. None of that. And I know that our world is filled with that during the summer because of breaking. But I say, let's just try to be more careful. Yeah. And I know if you break glass outside, you could cut yourself. I get it. But you could break glass indoors too.
But there's aluminum, there's other solutions for non-breakables in the park, for example, or by the pool where you're not having these, especially single-use plastics. The microplastics are kind of a bummer. Or what else I don't like is when I'm at like a cocktail bar, or I'm at like an event and there comes a certain point in the day or like a certain venue where they serve out of plastic glasses and it's kind of just a bummer. You're like, I wish I didn't come to this place, where I have to drink out of this plastic glass.
I just refuse. I can't do it.
And then there's the microplastics thing. So,
I mean, they have a lot of cute plasticware.
They do. I mean, it's not that it's not cute.
Avoid it. Yeah. I mean, how cute is this? Look at your little glass.
It's padded. Like,
and you just take it out of this little holder. Yeah. You can wash it, and it makes me happy.
Makes me happy.
I love it.
Yeah. I like my spa water.
I do too. I love this.
It's very Tommy Bahama.
Yeah.
Vibe.
It just,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know why he,
if people could be careful and, eat out of their normal dishes and glasses and silverware, it just kind of elevates the whole outdoor experience.
I do agree. It elevates the outdoor experience. I just can't have nice things. So
yes, you can. You have lots of nice things.
I do, but I just can't have like expensive plate sets and cup sets and things like that because I'll break them. And then but I don't want to be too sad.
Go to Arc.
Exactly.
They have why not?
For like a foo-foo cocktail glass that I'm only going to use once in a while, or like a really elaborate, cup of some sort, I go to Arc. Or even I have really cool clay coffee mugs from there.
Yeah.
And then if it breaks, it's not like a tragedy. I mean, I'll be sad, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I spent so much money on this glass set and now I broke one.
Yeah.
Because the other thing I try to do is sometimes I put glasses in the dishwasher that should be hand washed, but I'm just really I don't want to, and then they break in there. And I don't want to be too sad about that either. Mm-hmm. So, or like plates chip all the time. They do. So I'm just not.
It just adds to the character, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
When you have a little chip on your plate.
Yeah, I'm just not too precious about those things. But I agree with you to an extent on the plastic. I like safety. So like for the park, I want to be thoughtful, but there's other materials. In your own
space. Yeah. In your own space, you can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the freedom in that. You know what I don't like?
What?
AstroTurf.
Oh my.
It is, I mean, a lot of people, they like it because it's low maintenance.
Why do you not like it?
There's not a lot of water involved. I agree. It's eco-friendly in some ways, but
you hate it.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to the plastic thing. I want to be outside to be in nature, and that's not real nature to me. And then is it like healthy to walk on? Are you getting chemicals in your feet?
I don't know. That's a good question.
What if you have a pet? What if they go to the bathroom on it? What are you supposed to do then?
I guess hose it off.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pick up, hose off. I don't know. So, okay, I like the fake grass. Now, don't get me wrong. I love feeling grass under my feet, not at night because I don't know if there's a snake there.
Yeah.
But, I do like some of the fake grass. Some of it's truly
done really
looks
well.
real. Yeah.
Sometimes you can't tell.
Exactly. And, it is low maintenance. you don't have to run your lawnmower in the morning.
In a way. Yeah. It is hot though. And it reminds me of playing soccer. When I was younger, I feel like I had to play a sport
on fake grass.
Yeah. And so then I played soccer. It wasn't for me, but I played it for a season. It was just hot and it smelled like plastic.
Well, maybe they're different. Maybe it's different now. I don't know. Yeah, but imagine the things you could create with it. Like you could have a little putting green in your big fabulous
that's
backyard.
A cool idea.
Yeah.
The putting green.
So you could have your normal grass, regular grass, and then your fake grass, putting green.
Okay, I'm definitely a supporter of it for a putting green, but I'd want to keep the pets away from it. Yeah, wear your shoes.
Yeah.
So that's
I don't hate it though.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of creative solutions that you can.
And they don't have to cost a lot of money.
They don't have to cost a lot of money for a backyard. We talked about all the different sizes of yard and what to do with them.
Do you have a favorite from what we were talking about today? Like any of those things that was like a light bulb moment?
The water feature, I'm definitely going to incorporate in my life because
you could probably source one on like Facebook Marketplace.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I think you were smart in crafting your own, bringing up crafting your own. There's a lot you can do. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not expensive. You don't have to drive around trying to pick something up from somebody's house. Like on Facebook Marketplace, you can just make something out of a terracotta pot. Like what you were saying, a bird bath is a great idea from a terracotta pot.
Bird bath.
Yeah. Talking about crafting, something else that I discovered you can do with plants is, pots are really expensive. I've learned being a gardener. I decided to try flowers this year.
Okay.
And it's a whole new journey than vegetables because all the flower pots terracotta pots are expensive. And so I found all of these plastic ones on Facebook Marketplace that somebody was just getting rid of.
Well, at least you're reusing them.
Yeah,
and
you're
not buying new
reusing them.
plastic.
Yeah, not buying brand new plastic. And they had all these hanging baskets and things like that. And they could be used as is, but I just wanted to zhuzh them up a little and make them pretty. So
I kind of was seeing this out of the corner of my eye. Yeah. And I'm like, that is so cute.
I just took one of the plastic hanging baskets.
I love this.
You could like just one of these guys.
And that's
basically like a liner for a plant.
That's what they all come in.
Yeah. And they all come in this anyway. So this was free.
Yeah.
And
was that plant free?
Well, it was very cheap because I actually grew this little plant from seed.
Oh, so it didn't come from the pot it wasn't already in the pot when you got it. Okay.
No.
Got it.
So, but anyway, you can take a pot just like this and you can wrap it. You can wrap it in rope. And then I just got rope from Home Depot or like any hardware store. Hot glue. So it was like in my living room, I just had this pot and I started at the base and I just glued the start to the rope. I think it was right here with hot glue. And then this rope was kind of rough. So I wore garden gloves.
Okay.
Well, I did it so I didn't get any splinters or anything. But yeah, you just start it. And then like every few inches, I just put another dot of glue and held the rope down. And I just kept winding it until I reached the top. And then I wanted to paint the gray plastic. So I found that I had some blue paint and then I put it over the rope a little bit too. I could have painted the whole thing blue, but I kind of wanted to just see
a little
the rope.
Bit of it on there. Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah. And then I had this this is going to be a lace flower.
Does it bloom with a flower or?
It will. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And so I grew this little guy from seed, which is why it's mostly just a dirt pot.
It's so
and then this
cute.
little seedling.
Wait, is the lace flower the white one? That it kind of gets
some
like
of
this?
them are.
Okay.
So that's like what grew wild on my grandparents' farm. And it was called Queen Anne's lace is what my grandma always called it. This one was one that I found and it's like a blue lacy flower. We'll show the photo at some point. But yeah, so that's why it's just like this whole sea of dirt and this little guy instead of, because I didn't buy, you could buy little flowers at, wherever plant nursery or hardware store. But this is just my little lace flower. So
and it was a little seed and now it's growing.
That's what's magic about gardening to me is it just, you get so much out of just this tiny little seed.
I know.
So that's kind of cool. So I'll keep everybody updated on how this lace, maybe we call her Lacey. Is that too obvious? Okay. How Lacey is doing.
That's a great name.
Yeah. Lacey. I think Lacey is a cute name.
Yeah.
So, in this crafted plastic plant pot.
I love it. I love the creativity behind it too. And that probably didn't, you got the plant thing free from Facebook and probably just the cost of the rope because you already had your paint.
Which wasn't too expensive.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so many different ways to craft out there. And
you're so crafty. Mm-hmm. Very, very cute.
Here. We're trying to get around those. Yeah.
But microphones is kind of difficult.
Can just sit next to us.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of different ways to craft in your yard. And then you were saying that other fun things are to consider, like what are people going to do in your backyard? Like what are games that they're going to play?
And this is a way to get to know your neighbors. Invite them over for a game of cornhole.
That's a great idea.
I just happened to find this for a project, and it's from, I think it's called Denver Cornhole Games or Cornhole Games Denver. I think it's Denver Cornhole Games. Okay. And they make these.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And you can they'll do like
custom?
They'll do custom, but then they do like the Colorado flag and the American flag and things like that too. So yeah, you could do a little cornhole and you don't have to go through them. You could probably buy a cornhole game at Target or Walmart, someplace like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, set up a little area to have fun. It's a fun little game that anybody can play. And then back to the cornhole people that make those. They also make these cute little animals that hang over your privacy fence.
That is so unique. I was wondering. Yeah. So there's just like a golden retriever and his paws are hanging over the fence in his face.
But it could really be, if you go to their website, it could be any animal, really.
Okay.
I mean, they have cats, they have giraffes, they have other dogs. Cool. Yeah. I think they even have a dinosaur, but I love a golden retriever, and I thought that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about dopamine decor in the past. And
if it makes you happy, why not?
Exactly. Yeah. And just the whimsy, and it doesn't all have to be like serious and sterile and perfectly designed. It's like what makes you happy. And so everything, I like all of the examples you showed of different sizes of yards and what to do. It's like those are just a checklist of starting points, but they could really look any way or, be set up in any way that makes you happy or any way that, fits your space. So
I agree. I think, the happy movement.
Yeah.
The happiness movement. Let's start it.
Yeah. Just whatever.
I think lots of people are starting
whatever resonates with you. Yeah, that's very true in interior design now too. So I love it. But yeah, I feel like you've done a lot of backyard designs over time.
You have too. I can't wait to see some of your pictures too of your designs.
Well, let's look at some of the designs you've done recently.
Okay, so these. We do the St. Jude Dream Home here in Denver and Colorado Springs about twice a year. And I work with some other designers, visual merchandisers at our company.
Okay.
And so one of our fun spaces are these outdoor spaces. And I asked them, just do your thing. I picked out the furniture and the rugs and stuff like that. And then they go wild and add all of their fun elements. And I tell them, don't show me this until you're done. Surprise me. I want to see what it looks like. And it's such a fun, good surprise to see what they do. And this is one of the ones they did. And, they repeated the fun blue color with the pillows and the accessories. It was so cozy out there. I mean, you really felt like you were at the ocean in this spot.
Well, and I like how it really brings in a lot of elements that you were talking about before. You have the little drum table that could be a side table or it could be a stool.
And that moved around several times.
Yeah, because it could be placed wherever you need it to be. It's not super heavy. Yeah. And then you have a basket for a throw blanket to make sure you're cozy.
And the lantern.
Oh, I love that lantern.
So that was the other thing too. We talked about different lighting elements. This would be a really easy one.
Well, I love candles. So if there's a way to bring them outside, I want to know it.
Yeah. Well, those are battery powered candles.
Nice.
So, you don't have to worry about a flame for those that worry about those sort of things like myself. But anyway, so we put those out there. It was really great.
I like how you put them in that, what would you call that? It's
the lantern?
The lantern. Yeah. You put the candles in the lantern. It's a glass lantern. And so if you do have real candles and it's windy,
you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. It's not going to catch anything on fire because it's in a lantern.
And I think actually, come to think about it, I think this lantern actually came with the candles already in it. So and they were all stuck together. So you didn't have to put it together.
I love that.
And then you just turn it on in the bottom and it lit up. It was really quite nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then of course, the plants we brought those out. They're all artificial because the house is not open during the week. So
yeah.
So we put the artificial ones out there.
Yeah. You guys are so creative with spaces. I think I remember there being some sort of rack that you set up where you could add garden tools or, whatever you need outside, plants, things that you'd normally reach for or want to see in your backyard. Again, with the vertical space, that was a great, example of how you use vertical space?
Well, this one folds up, so it completely goes flat, so you can store it in the winter.
Okay.
I think Chuck, he's the visual down in our Colorado Springs store, and he pulled that and designed all around it. I thought it turned out really nice, and he wanted to do like a little potting shed.
Yeah.
So even if you don't have a lot of space, something like this was perfect for it. Yeah. And that wasn't a huge space, but it wasn't small either. But it just kind of, it was only about this wide. So
yeah,
like
I mean,
14 inches wide.
That could fit on a patio for sure.
Easily.
And then, all your garden tools are standing up in a vase. So that's actually kind of a cool way to display them, because it is a visual reminder that garden season is here and that everything's there for you to be able to garden, which is
all
fun.
Right there. Yeah. And that piece, you could have that be a serving piece. Yeah. You know, just move some of the pots off. And then, you know, if you're having people over, it's like a server. Yeah. Yeah. Put your drinks and appetizers there.
Yeah. You could put the water pitcher.
Absolutely.
On that. Yeah.
You could fill the whole thing up.
Yeah.
With outdoor.
You could. Just whatever you need for the occasion. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I would think about items that can do double duty. You know, just because it's a plant, you know, a potting plant area doesn't mean it always has to be that.
And that whole area was like kind of in a covered space in the backyard, but you've also designed things in full sun, which I really like.
This was a spot where we had these really neat little outdoor chairs and that chimenea. I think that's how your chimenea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that piece was really cool. But we just put those out. I think there was some pea gravel there. It was just a really simple space. We could have used an umbrella. That would have been, or your chimchurra, what's it called?
Coolaroo,
sorry. I'm getting all my names mixed up.
Chimenea, coolaroo.
Yeah, that would have been
Sounds
great
like code words or something. Like, we've attained the coolaroo.
The coolaroo.
Yeah. The chimenea has flown the nest.
It has gone.
Yeah. So I really like those too as just an idea of a fire pit, because fire is contained that way, but you can still have the smoke smell.
Yeah. Or you could put really anything. I mean, you could put like in that one, because it had a big opening, you could put a, I don't know, what are those metal little buckets, and fill it with ice and put your drinks in there.
That's
so you
a cool
go to the
idea.
chimney and pull your drink. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a drink cavern, because that way it would shield it from the sun. So the ice wouldn't melt as fast. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
So just use things, you know, for whatever your mind comes up with. Be creative.
Yeah.
You know, when you're creative, the sky's the limit.
It really is.
Let the creatives be creative.
Yeah. Or even if you don't think you're creative, a lot of times you are.
You are.
And you just are creative in different ways that you're not recognizing as creative, but they are. Like gardening. You can put a terracotta pot in the dirt and fill it with water, and then top it with the plate that comes with the terracotta pot, and it'll water the plants around the pot. So you have to plug the hole in the bottom of the pot with like, I think putty or clay or what, look it up. But
I thought you were going to say like it seeps through the clay.
It does into the dirt. And so all of the plants, their roots reach for that water that is coming out of the pot. So that's a really good way, like in the height of summer, particularly, if you water your lawn or, you know, your garden space, water will evaporate a lot quicker. But if your plants need the extra water, it'll be there for them. Or if you're traveling.
That's such a good, I'm going to use that.
Creativity.
Yeah. Yeah. Because my garden on the side, it doesn't have sprinklers, just my lawn does. Okay. So that's a great idea, because I'm always having to go out there with water hose.
Bury a terracotta pot in the middle of the soil, and then all the roots just reach
such a great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you for that tip, Jessa.
Yeah. Yeah. What other backyards have you designed? Let's see.
Oh, this was on top.
That's a rooftop patio.
It's like a little rooftop patio. Again, this was at one of our St. Jude homes, and our visuals just went wild and had fun, and it turned out really great. And they put this little bar cart in the corner. I thought that was adorable.
Yeah.
And you could, it could be a bar cart. It could be really anything. It could be a serving piece for food. You could use it as an end table. A lot of, we were talking about how outdoor pieces are so different now.
Yeah.
Now they have outdoor lamps.
Oh,
like
cool.
You literally can walk outside with a lamp with no cord, nothing. It's just like a battery powered
lamp. That's cool.
Or
and you
a charging one. You charge it up.
But again, it's portable.
Yeah.
Like you can just load everything that you need up on that cart and roll it out there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also like how much they used plants, even though they're not real. It felt really real, brings an environment of nature into the otherwise just concrete deck space.
Exactly.
And then you have the bright pops of color in there too. You've got the green blanket and pillows on the outdoor sofa that are nice.
I love that. And I do like that they used a lot of these faux plants that we have. And it turned out, it looked real in person.
It's an oasis.
Plants, it definitely was an oasis.
Particularly if you're looking at fake plants, I think grasses and like cacti or succulents are the hardest to tell.
I would agree with that.
If they're real or fake.
Yeah.
But fake plant design has come so far too, where it's really hard to tell, because on a really sunny rooftop area, it's going to be hard to keep plants healthy and happy to an extent, because they're just getting baked in the sun.
Oh, for sure.
So
and we've baked some out in some of our designs for sure.
Yeah. And so you really have to remember to keep those watered.
Yeah.
But another great solution that's lower maintenance are those fake plants that look real. So
yeah, that's a good solution.
I know Furniture Row sells a lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you did a daybed design at some point too. It's like a cabana.
Oh yeah. I love this. Is it Moon Cove? I can't remember the name of this.
Moon Cove. Something with moon in it. Yeah.
Something moon from our store.
Looks like a moon.
Yeah, this thing is so cool because it just encompasses everything. So, it's like a daybed, it's shade.
An enclosed cabana with like a circular entrance.
Yeah,
and then
on all
got
sides.
It has navy cushions, but you really decorated that up with some fun throw pillows also.
Well, this again was our visuals, and we're like, go have fun. And this is what they came up with.
I love those hanging lanterns.
I know.
The little design that they made, because you could put little battery powered lights in there.
Yeah, those little tea lights.
Oh my gosh, that would be so cute.
And you could have them on all the time.
Yeah.
And then your little tray, you could bring your drinks out on that. I mean, it really is a neat piece. And it has these little built-in curtains. I guess you could take them out if you don't want them, but they're really quite nice.
Right.
So it helps with the shade. And then the top has like a little blue fabric draped across the top.
So it's all could be open or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I loved it. I love all the colors that they put together. It turned out
the
good.
Pinks and the yellows really go well with the blue.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, I think that we're coming a long way with what we can do with the outdoor designs. You can always hire an interior designer to come to your house, but the other thing that you can do that's new and just really cool is AI outdoor design. So you can say, here's my space. Take a photo of whatever space you want to design.
That's the cutest little house.
So that's my front yard.
I love it. It's so adorable.
Yeah. So that's my front yard. I took that photo. I gave it to ChatGPT and I said, this is the prompt I used. I said, could you give me a creative porch design including planters and patio furniture, because I want to know what to do with all these potted flowers and it could use some furniture. And I said, I want a Rhode Island aesthetic. So
that's such a good
could you give me a creative porch design, including planters and patio furniture that has a Rhode Island aesthetic? And you could mix and match like any, that's what it came up with.
I love it.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
So first it first it just gave a list, like
here's what you could do,
shopping list of here's what you could do. You know, you could bring in the window boxes and things like that. And then I clicked create an image, and that's the image it created. And I'm like, I can see exactly what I could incorporate and how it would look. And I have those chive blossoms in my actual front yard because the chives are blooming, and it incorporated that. Yeah. And it added the anchor to the little chive circle.
I love it.
And it can actually be a really good resource. But yeah, you could plug in, you know, could you give me a creative porch or patio design, including tea lights and tiki torches that has a Caribbean aesthetic, and it would give you something.
How long does it take to just be is it like instant? Like
no,
boop, 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 there it is.
It takes like maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. So, but I mean, that's pretty quick. I mean,
2 to 3 minutes. That's pretty quick.
We used to have to wait for dial-up, remember? Yeah. And now it's just like you can prompt AI to give you whatever design you want. So that's actually a good, at least starting point. Or you could just show it a picture of your front yard and say, landscape my front yard, and it will give you solutions without any sort of style prompt, but you can also get specific. So it's fun to just play with, and you can try a few different things. If you're like, well, I don't know if I want cottagecore or, you know, Caribbean, you can see what different vibes look like.
Can you put like, cause I haven't tried this yet, and I'm going to. I should. I'm a little behind the eight ball on this one, but could you put a picture of something that you really love along with your home and go, I like this, make it feel like that?
Exactly. So if you've already been Pinterest searching and you're like, okay, here's my photo of my yard. Could you design something for it, or could you give me a porch design or a patio design for this yard that is similar to this photo?
Okay.
And so then you could include that other inspiration photo, and it'll give you a whole new photo. You just have to click create image. You can just say go, and it'll give you a list of how you could create those things. So that's really kind of that's a cool resource, I think. Just
it is a cool
of how to use technology to your advantage.
So Jessa, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
It took the picture of your house.
Yeah.
And then it did all of this cuteness overload. Adorable. I love it.
There's the Adirondack chairs and the pots.
I mean, it's so good. So it looked like, and I could have seen this wrong, but your original photo, I don't know. Can we put that up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks, do you have a screen door or a storm door?
Yeah, it's like a storm or glass door.
So did it say to itself, I don't want that there?
It did tell itself, I don't want that there.
So you didn't say, take my door off. Okay.
No.
So
it thought my house would look more idyllic without it.
Well, I mean, okay, so let's go to the after. Let's look at that one again.
Yeah.
And it looks like it extended out your front patio.
Yeah. Yeah. It did.
And then, wow, it's good. Are you going to do this?
Well, I rent, so maybe not, but.
Well, you could do the little chairs.
I could do the chairs.
Yeah.
That actually,
and your pots.
Yeah.
And the mat.
Right. For
the
renters.
3 main things that we talked about.
You shouldn't just say, this is my life for now and it's my space for now. It's like, make your space for now great.
Yeah.
You know,
so
I need a pep talk. Yeah. Maybe I just need, because I'm so into gardening and I'm definitely going to bring the planters out there.
Yeah.
Like, but I think,
you probably have, do you have an Adirondack chair?
No, but you know what? I feel
Let's
like
get you one.
They're getting easier and easier to find.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. I need an Adirondack chair.
Yeah.
All right. We just needed to determine that.
Yeah.
I thought it was
You're going to get an Adirondack chair.
And you know what you could do is you could just like get some outdoor pillows that are kind of tired and you could reupholster them.
You totally could.
I mean, I don't know how to do that, but you could. Or you could just go to like, you know, a little bit of a discount store and get some get some outdoor pillows.
Yeah, you could do any
Pull
of that
together.
Absolutely. Or just sew your own.
Yeah. The thing that's giving me the most anxiety to do is the window boxes, because I've never tried to do one of those before. But that's another great solution for if you have like just a patio or balcony space. Those window boxes or over the railing boxes can be really nice.
That definitely adds an ambiance to it. And like here, it just completely softens the front of the home and adds a dimension to it. You could also do those standing planter boxes.
Yeah.
So, and those can get pretty tall too. I mean, you know, I don't know the height, but maybe not as high as that window, but it would still give off the same feel.
Right.
So, you know, if you're renting and you don't want to install those, that's something you could take with.
I should do that because, okay, I've almost made a game out of renting and like how much can I get away with in my yard because I'm such a yard person.
Yes.
And we'll move into these spots that look just the backyard is in shambles.
Well,
and
you just improved it.
I had the vision to just, I'm like, I can just seed this yard and it's going to come back.
Yeah.
And it did. And I got to share this with you. I could rival any dad with lawn care. I am ultimate
challenge is on,
lawn lady now
love it.
because I figured out the grass seed I like. I figured out what to do.
Did you go through different grass seed till you got to the one you like?
Yeah. So first I was like, I'm just going to do this the cheapest way possible. I'm going to get the hardware store brand grass seed and I'm going to just spread the grass seed. But it just didn't really like blossom or sprout.
Did it just
quickly.
Like do it in little patches?
Yeah. And then it felt like it was getting burnt in places. Yeah. And so I was like, I am not joking around here. And I got the like primo grass seed that they said, this is what sod growers use, you know, on the package. I think the one I got was called Black Beauty and they had a horse on it, but you can only get it at some hardware stores. Okay. Anyway, I got it for like outdoor and indoor spaces. So I've done this more than once now. I said outdoor and indoor, hot and cold, shaded and sunny conditions because mountainy like Colorado conditions really swing back and forth throughout the day. It'll be like blazing sun and then total shade and cold and it'll be 70 degrees one day and, you know, 40 the next. Yeah. So, or 30 the next. So you really need grass for your weather conditions. And they actually had like a Rocky Mountain grass seed that was meant for the swinging temperatures of places like Colorado. Do they show you how
it's going to look?
No, but they just say like this is for...
Because not all grass I don't think looks the same.
It doesn't, but my goal was just green. Yeah. You know, not brown.
You did it. Look
not
at this.
Brown. And so the other thing that I did, especially with the first yard, if you want to go back, is I did what it was called weeding and seeding. So you go through and you do a round of pulling all the weeds up.
Do you have like some machine that does it or is it just your hands pulling it?
I just used like a flathead screwdriver to get to the base of the dandelion root.
Oh my gosh.
And I just like filled a trash can with them.
How long were you out there doing?
I don't know, like a couple hours, but I remember like feeling like I did a workout the next day.
Did.
Like I was like, my legs were sore from like kneeling down and pulling all these dandelions. Gosh. So then I started getting targeted for those, like, I can't remember what it's called, but basically it's like a spike that goes in the ground and you push your foot into it and then like pull up the dandelion root so you don't have to bend down. So my neighbors, they had like a deck that looked over our yard
and they were seeing you out there with a screwdriver.
Can't believe how great. Well, probably at some point, but they just, once our yard turned around and we had all the sunflowers that you can see. They were like, your lawn just looks so good. Like, what did you do? We want to do that to our yard. And so I walked them through the whole thing and they got that, you know, the device where you can like just press your foot down and it pulls up the dandelion. And they were like, we love that thing. And they were out there.
Where was that when I was doing mine?
Yeah, exactly. So at least help some other people. Yeah. But so anyway, I didn't pull all the weeds, but I probably did like half of them, and it just really helped the grass thrive.
Well, it doesn't look like you have any weeds left. I mean, it looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, some of that greenery was like a little bit of like weeds, but I just think you can't be too particular.
Yeah.
I mean, you could really get super meticulous, but I was just happy that it was green. And
How
it was
long did it take to get like this?
like a month.
Really?
It was really quick.
Wow.
Like I had friends be like, what did you do? You know,
You're like, it's magic.
Yeah. So it's, and you just make sure to water. Like
we Did you water every day?
Yeah. We don't have a fancy watering sprinkler system or anything like that. We just hooked up one of the classic like rainbow sprinklers.
What you ran through as a kid.
What you ran through as a kid to the hose and put it in the middle of the yard. And we got a timer and you don't have to get a timer, but it was easier for it to go off at a specific time every day. Like we wanted it early in the morning, so that way it wouldn't just evaporate right away.
Did you water at night too?
In the evening and in the morning, I think like 10 minutes each or something. And that way you don't forget about it and waste water either. But you could just turn it on and off if you want. You just need to like set a timer for yourself so you don't forget the water on or forget to water.
I mean, this looks like a place you want to go to now.
Yeah, and then we had a lot of like summer get-togethers, and we watched a lot of dogs, and we had our friends' dogs over during the summer get-togethers, and they could just run around in the grass. It was amazing. So
how nice.
It was a fun time. You could play lawn games out there, but before, like the yard was just unusable, and who wants a yard like that? You wouldn't want to go
hang out back there.
No. Yeah,
so this would be
I
like
wouldn't.
clean up before setting up your outdoor space.
Right. So the left is how we moved into it, and I just like was like, we can take this project on.
Of course.
And now I really believe in my abilities, and I was able to do it at the next house we rented again. This time we got some like natural fertilizer to help it along, but I think like it'll just, as long as you water it. We borrowed a seed spreader for lawn seed. I have one of those too. We borrowed it from a friend. I think you can rent it one too if you don't want to buy one. But also,
I like the idea of borrowing, because then you get to know your neighbors again.
Exactly.
And they might come and borrow something from you.
Right. Exactly. So whether you post on Nextdoor or you just talk to your neighbors, it's a good thing to ask. Or you can just like, I can't remember. There's a way to use your hands to just like spread the seed. I think you just like put a bunch of seeds between your hands and go like this.
Yeah.
And just
probably wear some gloves.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, your hands would be like raw. Well, it looks really good. Are all of the plants along the fence, what are those?
Sunflowers.
Those are all sunflowers?
What the squirrels liked. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then
it looks like night and day. It looks so good.
Totally.
Wow. So, do you have a patio to it? Because it looks like there's a little bit of cement there.
Yeah,
Is it a big patio?
We had a big patio, and that's why we needed the coolaroo.
Oh.
And we ended up putting a post out in the grass and then connecting the patio.
Very nice.
The coolaroo to it.
I think you need you need the cornhole games out there. That'd be fun for your backyard.
We had friends bring them sometime.
Oh, perfect.
Sometimes we have a ladder ball. Where you throw, they're like two golf balls attached by a string or like a rope. And then there's like, usually it's PVC, I don't know, the pipes, the plastic pipes that people use in plumbing. There's like 3 tiers, and then you just move them probably the same space apart as a cornhole board would be. And you throw the golf balls, and you try to wrap them around each of the rungs. And the first rung is like
stands up. It doesn't. Okay, got it.
It stands up. The first rung is like 1 point. The second one is 2, and the third one's 3, maybe. So
you can probably make that too.
Yeah, a lot of people actually do.
Yeah.
So
how fun.
That's a fun thing. Yeah.
So you really don't have to spend a lot.
You don't.
To make a big difference.
It's just creativity a lot of the time.
And it's getting started. It's like, okay, I'm doing this.
You can just like create a whole new world for yourself in your backyard. But
That's so cool.
I feel like we talked about so many fun
we
things.
We've talked about everything.
With backyard design this week. And we're just, we're so
back
happy.
To this.
Yeah.
Beautiful picture.
Beautiful summer vibes. We're just really happy to share summer with everyone and that you joined us to have this great little patio conversation.
Patio talk. Backyard talk.
So it's been fun. Make sure to get your patio set up for this season and really embrace it to its fullest. And
and don't be afraid. Like, just get started. Started. Clear the weeds out. Clear, all of the winter brush away, and just get started.
There's a lot of great materials you can buy furniture in these days that are great for any weather condition. I know people love teak wood, for example, but it can really be
could be anything.
So it's about what you like in your space and what you want to spend the money on. So.
And spend time in nature. I think it's just good for the soul. It's just something that you will feel so happy just being outdoors.
Yeah. You don't need to travel far in order to get the benefits of nature. It could just be in your own outdoor space in your own neighborhood. So,
all right, tomato girl.
All right,
tomato summer.
Non-power tool lady. Yeah. We are signing off, and
we'll see you later.
We're excited to see you in the future.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.